right, I have now officially seen all 6 current shows here in Las Vegas. Well, all 6 Cirque du Soleil shows, or as they said in Mad Apple, Cirque du Soleil, with their New York accents. I will now have the hard task of ranking them all. And to be honest, the more I've thought about it, the more I realize it's going to be very challenging because they're all good. So I do want to rank them just because I promised I would. If you do not see your favorite ranked as high as you think it should be, I apologize. Honestly, on any given day, this ranking could change. It's just the way I feel right now. I've been thinking about it in my head. Finally saw Mad Apple. I know where to slot all the shows, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. But let's get it kind of out in the open right now. Every single one of these shows is great. If you've already booked a show, don't have any regrets because you're gonna love every single one of them. They all have something different to offer. No 2 shows are alike. Cirque du Soleil, if you have no idea what that is basically a modern circus. So it's the human body being pushed to its limits, doing all kinds of acrobatic works. There's generally live music, there's live singing. The performances are just incredible. The shows can be a bit pricey, but you get what you pay for. And I've really enjoyed seeing all these shows. I've also seen a lot of shows, so it's not just the 6 I'm basing this opinion on. I've actually seen many Cirque shows. I saw Zumanity when they had it here. I saw Zarkana. I saw Believe by Chris Angel, which, if I was to rank my least favorite Cirque show, Believe is gonna always be that worst show I've ever seen. I also have seen a lot of the touring shows, such as Corteo, Curios, Ovo, Alegria, Luzia. So I've definitely seen a lot of Cirque shows, and I feel that I'm pretty confident in my ability to rank these and hopefully share with you what I think are the best shows. So let's get started with my top 6 shows here in Las Vegas. All right, up first is Michael Jackson's One. And as I said at the top, all of these shows are great, including this one. The only reason I ranked it number 6 is because it's mostly a dance show and not as much of a Cirque du Soleil show. In fact, I've seen it advertised as an immersive musical experience, and for that I agree. The speakers are in the back of your seat, so you can hear the sound surrounding you. There is a little bit of live music. There's a girl who plays guitar throughout, which I thought was really cool. There's actually live singing as well. And if you love Michael Jackson, you're gonna absolutely love this show. It's a choreography, or a choreographed dream rather. And from top to bottom, it is probably one of the best Michael Jackson concerts that you could possibly ever get. The costumes are over the top and elaborate. There's a bit of a storyline where these 4 teens collect different Michael Jackson artifacts, such as his glove, his hat, his glasses, or his shoes. And when they get them, they gain abilities. Some of the abilities don't make any sense, like the girl who gets the glasses can start twirling sticks all of a sudden, and the guy who gets the glove grabs his crotch more often, I guess, I don't know. The guy that gets the shoes, at least he starts doing slackline immediately afterwards. That kind of makes sense. If you love Michael Jackson, you're absolutely gonna love One. If you don't like Michael Jackson, for whatever reason, I don't know who doesn't like Michael Jackson, then this might be the one you want to skip if you're here in Vegas. But it is a great show, and I think that if you do come and check it out, you're gonna have a great time. And up next, number 5 is Mad Apple, which completely surprised me. I had very low expectations going in. I really liked Zumanity, which is the show that this replaced. And this one only opened in May of 2022, and it's now July of 2022. And I think this show knocks it out of the park. It is so funny. I was smiling the entire time. I was having a good time. It opens up like it's a nightclub, so you can go and buy drinks and then sit in your seat. There are waitresses that will come around and collect your drinks as well. And then it just becomes a variety hour. There are multiple comedians. There's a comedian who's a rapper who takes suggestions from the audience, and they're all phenomenal. And then there's plenty of Cirque activities. So I did knock One for being a bit too one note on the immersive musical experience. this is probably the reason that this only ranks 5 on my list, because there is a lot more variety to it, and it's a really good show. However, it is not a pure Cirque show like the others are. But I do recommend you check it out because it is such a good time. They did an amazing job with it, and I really do think you should come check it out. Maybe the only downside is, because it is a comedy show, there are some scripted elements that might not be as funny the second time around. However, there's plenty of improv as well, and especially the comedians that come on second and third, they are riffing completely from the audience and just talking to the audience and working with suggestions from the audience. So I really do want to just throw that out there. Come check it out, especially being one of the newer shows. And it was a sold-out house here on a Tuesday night, so really thrilled with it. And I hope you are too. So on to number 4. Up next is O here at the Bellagio. O is the water theme, which makes sense seeing as O is French for water when it's spelled E-A-U. And it's been running since 1998. It is probably the most incredible set/stage that I've ever seen in the entire world. It is a water stage which has nearly 14 million gallons of water, if I remember reading correctly. And the stage itself is a pool that transforms into a stage, back into a pool, and vice versa throughout the entire show. Very impressive. It is a water ballet. It is absolutely stunning and beautiful to watch. There are some moments where I'm just like, my jaw is dropping of how gorgeous it is. There is one particular segment where these things, I don't know their names, but they're flying in on horses. And they're just like surrounding it almost like a merry-go-round. And it's just visually impressive and so beautiful. Every time you see the set, it's just mind-blowing that this even exists, and it can only be done in a setting like this here at the Bellagio. My only knock against it is that it was kind of boring, and the problem, I think, is actually these clowns. So there's a clown behind me here. The clown segments are not funny, and they drag on so long. So you have these beautiful moments with the water and the acrobatic impressiveness from all the different performers, and then everything grinds to a halt the moment the clowns appear on stage. They are doing these different segments where they're trying to save their house from drowning. And while it might elicit a couple of chuckles from the audience, for the most part, compared to every other Cirque du Soleil show, I think everyone's just waiting for the action to start up again. And so that's probably the biggest problem I have with it. However, it is an incredibly beautiful show. And if you are in Vegas, I do highly, highly recommend you check out O at least once to see what the fuss is about, because it is beautiful, the music is phenomenal, and everything about it is top-notch. So definitely come check it out, even though it might not be number 1 on my list. All right, and here I am out in front of Treasure Island, where Mystère, the longest running Cirque du Soleil show here in Las Vegas, it opened in 1993, plays 5 times a week. And I gotta say, this is an underrated show. This is the second time I've seen it, and both times I walked away with the same feelings, and that is, it is the most pure Cirque du Soleil show of any show here. There's no gimmicks, it's just a really acrobatic, circus-like atmosphere, and the clowns themselves are surprisingly funny and actually add to the show in a way that no other Cirque du Soleil clowns actually do. I actually found myself laughing out loud at some of their antics, and I can honestly say I've never done that at any other Cirque du Soleil show. Just go let this ambulance pass. But yeah, this show, underrated. I would check it out. I think it's great. I honestly do think that it's probably a gem that most people overlook when they come here, because Treasure Island is a bit of a dated hotel, and this show itself has been running for as long as it has. But it's also the most kid-friendly. There was probably 20% of the audience under the age of 15 when I saw it, and they were all having a really good time. So if you're down in Vegas with a family, definitely come check out Mystère, probably over any of the other Cirque du Soleil shows, and enjoy, because I do think this is a show that if you want a true, pure Cirque du Soleil experience, this is the one to check out. Next up is Ka. Ka has been playing here at the MGM Grand since 2004, and it has, like O, one of the coolest sets that I've ever seen. It's a moving platform that can rotate throughout the show. It can be upright, it can be completely upright, slanted. A lot of the performers and some of the actual set pieces, they're scrambling to stay on the moving stage. They fall off, they fall into a pit below. There's a really cool segment where they're jumping from peg to peg. The way they use this set is incredible. It's not just a gimmick. The show could not be done without it. It has some of the most beautiful music. It's also one of the only Cirque shows that has a story. The story itself is a little bit forgettable, but it's about two twin siblings who get separated and then ultimately need to find their way back to each other, finding love along the way and defeating evil. But it's really atmospheric, very cool. There's a reason it's ranked very highly on my list, and that's because I just find it extremely enjoyable. Very different from a lot of the other Cirque shows, much more choreographed fighting. And there are some really cool segments where they have spinning wheels like the one behind me, where they're jumping on top and trying to keep inside the wheel as it starts spinning faster and faster and faster. So really cool show. Check it out here at the MGM. Yeah, number 2 on my list. And lastly, Love is my favorite show here in Las Vegas. I actually had it ranked number 1 coming in. I watched it. I weirdly liked it a little bit less than I normally do. There was a few changes, a few less performers in some of the areas, but overall, it is the most fun Cirque du Soleil show. It doesn't have live music in the same way that 1 doesn't have live music. However, the music is so memorable. The people next to me were singing along to a lot of the songs, and I think that adds to an element of it, but it's just non-stop action the entire way through. Everyone's having a good time, from the people watching to the people on stage. There's a lot of variety. There's roller skating, there's dancing, there's twirling, there's flips, there's somersaults. There's really cool gadgets and technology. There's like these little rain boots that are walking on a tricycle. It's a special thing. It's a special show that you have to come and see. If you only could pick one show in Las Vegas, I do think that Love here at the Mirage would be the show to go see. It opened in 2004, and there have been some changes over the years, but it's just so good. And the way it begins just blows your mind. The tech is a little bit dated now compared to some of the other shows, but it's still such a solid show that if you are in Vegas, this is the show that I recommend you come check out. That's my list. Thank you for checking out my list. I hope you enjoyed these 6 shows. I'm sure you have different opinions and you can put them in the bottom. But let me know what your favorite show is in Las Vegas. Definitely would love to hear what your thoughts are and tell me why. But until next time, Corey Vanderland signing off from Las Vegas, Nevada. Did I just say Negus? Las Vegas, Nevada.